Hi, it's Sam here, and welcome back to the Adventures of Lola Badiola. In the previous episode, we met JJ Thompson, Lola's new boss. Now, we're going to meet some more interesting characters who will be working with Lola at J Block. We will also cover some common expressions, phrasal verbs, and advanced vocabulary that are used in the text. So, without any further delay, let's go back to the story.
The Adventures of Lola Badiola. Chapter 5. The Apple. It was 8:45 a.m. and J.J. Thompson was sitting at his desk trying to write a mission statement that truly expressed the purpose of his company. He wanted to demonstrate its core values to all the stakeholders. But he found it impossible to summarize everything in one inspirational sentence. He had written more than 25 versions of the same idea, but none of them worked to his satisfaction. He threw down his pencil in frustration and looked at the team he had assembled over the last 6 months. Up until that moment, his primary concern had been human resources. The success of the company depended on the success of the people. But like many startups, there was little cash to pay the employees. So, to attract talent and get their long-term commitment, he had offered everyone share ownership. He wanted his team to feel like they were part of something special, like they were changing the world for the better. This sense of purpose was reflected in the environment in which they worked. JJ had invested a lot of money in the interior design of his offices. The objective was to bring the outside world inside the building. The rooms were filled with natural woods, plants and flowers, and subtle but exotic aromas. There was a central meeting area with an artificial waterfall and a vast ceiling light that mirrored the changing colours of the sky. All the items of furniture combined form and function and were made of sustainable materials. He wanted to lift the spirits of everyone who walked into the office, be it an employee, a client, or a pizza delivery boy. Nobody expected the company to generate profits or even revenues overnight, but JJ was eager to win their first big contract as soon as possible. They had been operating in a marketing vacuum for some time. Consequently, he was thrilled to have Lola on board and expected her to hit the ground running. "JJ, do you have a second?" His train of thought was interrupted by the voice of Cayetano Tolosa. "Sure." Cayetano was the salesman who would be reporting to Lola. Despite his lack of direct experience in the cybersecurity sector, he was very well connected, plugged in, as they say in Spain, and could open doors to some of the biggest accounts in Europe. JJ was well aware of the subtle but significant differences in business culture between his native and adopted countries. It was not just an empty cliché to say that trust in Latin cultures was built through personal relationships. In his years of doing business in Spain, he had learned to adapt, to spend more time talking about the families of his business associates, to enjoy coffee breaks and long lunches, not as a way of avoiding work, but as a way of building confidence and credibility. He understood that if he wanted to succeed in Spain, he would need salespeople who were not only highly competent, but also well connected. Cayetano walked into JJ's office, half-eaten apple in hand, and sat down on one of the Smart Ocean office chairs. He was an archetypal salesman, supremely self-confident and smooth as butter on a hot summer's day. He was clean-shaven, hair gelled back, sleeves rolled up to reveal his tanned and toned forearms. He could have been a male model, if only he'd been 30 centimeters taller. "When is the new commercial director arriving?" he asked. "Any time now." "Great." Cayetano leaned back in the chair, crossed his legs, and took a small bite of his apple. "I have a question about her." "Yeah?" Why did she get fired from her last company? JJ was startled by the question. As far as he was concerned, Lola had resigned from Texpania following the acceptance of the offer from J-Block. She wasn't fired, he replied. She quit. Oh, Cayetano chewed quietly on his apple. I heard a different story. One of the administrative assistants interrupted the conversation to inform them that Lola had just arrived at the office. JJ closed his laptop, stood up and looked down at Cayetano. Well, you heard the wrong story, he said. Then he walked quickly to the entrance to greet the new arrival. Cayetano spun around in the revolving chair, then threw the remains of his apple into JJ's rubbish bin.